May the 17th, 2020. Guys, this is a tropical storm update. It's kind of a national weather update. You're looking at the continental United States, and it starts last night as you see it go from the dark red into the day scale, and then starting to get dark again here. And the last video was about the tornadoes popping up down in Louisiana. You can see the very high cloud tops on this particular radar as it sets a foot into this warm engine we call the Gulf of Mexico, and watch what's happening through here. So guys, if you're in Mississippi and Alabama and Florida Panhandle tonight, we already know there's trouble in Louisiana, and it's going to continue to move east. But it's dropping down and then pulling back up. We've had this south wind, very humid all day here, and not really heavy rain, but just spotty rain that was continuous. Sun come out, and then another shower would come in. But as this thing dips into the Gulf, this is going to get more severe, okay? Watch out here, because you're already getting set up with a lot of moisture along Pensacola, Florida Panhandle. Here is Arthur. Your outer bands are inland into North Carolina, parts of South Carolina, and the storm has not changed. It's still sustained winds of 45 miles an hour. It's the pressure we'll look at, it's 1,004 millibars, and it was 1,002 this morning, so that's a good sign. And it's kind of a dry storm now, but things are changing. We're going to watch it into tonight and into tomorrow. This thing is going to be very close to you on the North Carolina shore. We'll look at the projections on that, but guys, I cannot help but emphasize to watch what's happening here, coming out of Louisiana and Texas into the Gulf of Mexico. And guys, here in the California mountains in this area, there's winter storm watches. Think about that, up to a foot of snow tonight in some places. Weather's weird. And let's bring this in just a little closer to kind of give you an idea of where your thunderstorms are trying to wrap around the center of circulation. And you can see some of the higher cloud tops here, but you got dry area in the area. And that may be a very good thing, guys, as this thing continues to move north by northeast. It's basically north now, but on the hurricane center, it's saying northeast. So just don't take your eyes off this again. And in the section of the radar we were looking at on the national scale, here in the central section of the country, right there was the top of the section of rotation that's also reaching into the Gulf, and so you kind of got a double pump north. Look at this. Tremendous amount of moisture. It's going to be moving east. This is what I've been talking about also. This moisture, which looks like it will be a minimum at this point, we hope, will be merging with this along the eastern coast. So just watch for your flooding. Now, this is just coming out. It's 8 p.m. Eastern update. And you've got in the yellowish brown area here, guys, that's the area where the storm is now. But if you look at this, by 2 p.m. Monday, it's going to be already past the outer banks of North Carolina as far as the center of circulation. So it's moving fast. And just keep an eye on it tonight. Watch for pop-up tornadoes once it gets a little closer to land. And water spouts, we've seen it all. But you're, again, in the tropical storm watch in the blue here along the outer banks. And another 8 p.m. update. You see the spaghetti models, guys? They're still very close, or large majority of them are coming across the outer banks here along North Carolina. So keep an eye on that. Still a couple models pulling it in somewhere between Washington and New York and a little south of that area. They put in the different data that they have on potential wind speeds or high pressure, whatever it is we talk about, and this is what they come up with. But it looks like the majority is going to bring the storm up again, possibly even inside the outer banks as far as center circulation, which is going to put more and more pressure on inland as far as rain and high wind. Of course, you got your rip currents and things like that to deal with. Now, this is the NAVGEM model, or the U.S. Navy model of the storm, and they're pretty accurate, guys. They have the most sophisticated equipment. Think about the military, Anyway, the storm moves up across the North Carolina coast. The high pressure area in the orange and red kind of trap the storm. It doesn't just move out completely northeast. It's pushed back in or pushed back south there. But again, by tomorrow, this thing will be all over the Outer Banks. And the Canadian model is very close to the same tracking on it. But guys, we're watching it. Watch for updates. Of course, if anything changes, we'll let you know immediately. It's a heads up. Be safe.